I started researching it and just looking these things up, and I'm like, well, I have the same 24 hours in a day that he does. So how the hell is he making $1 million a month? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I was broke. It was broken, right? And it took a lot of years, like several years, for me to like figure out what that meant. But it was the first experience I'd had with reframing that the way I saw the world was not the way the world was. It's
Yeah.
just the way it was for me. Because that guy, he didn't believe the same shit I believed. I knew it. It was obvious. He wasn't that much older than me, and he was driving, I don't know, back then it was probably a $300,000 car, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's driving a $300,000 car, and I'm making $4 an hour. Well, there's some disparage there. I'm like, what the fuck? And I can't work harder. I've got to reframe. So it opened me up to this journey to really start to discover these stories we tell ourselves become ironclad. Because that was me 17, 18. By 22, I was a millionaire. So
Yeah.
I had gone to war to reframe everything I told myself in every way, because I'm like, that's possible. So no matter what else I seem to believe, even if I think it's true, it's bullshit, because that guy did it. And either I could believe what my parents said. I think we talked about this last week,
Yeah.
or last show. Like, I could believe my parents said that he's evil and he's stolen from somebody, which I knew that wasn't true. I talked to the guy.
Yeah.
And I kept anchoring to that. I mean, he's a cool dude. And maybe he stole from people. I don't know, but he seemed like just a cool guy. And I'm like, man, I want to be that cool guy. And everything I was believing. I mean, I remember leaving 7-Eleven, and I'm like, well, I need a commission job. And so I went and I got a job at freaking telemarketing company called Convergys. And I worked for American Express, and I was supposed to call and get people to get more American Express cards. That was like, so I'm like stepping into this realm, and I'm like, okay, and it just was this slow progress. But all along the way, I had to be willing to realize that in order for me to grow, I had to completely let go of all the stories I was telling myself at the level I was at. They weren't going to get it done. And I didn't have a map to follow, right? I didn't have a process at the time. It was just like, dude, just try to figure this shit out. And I didn't know anybody who was rich other than this dude in a Ferrari I saw one day for 10 minutes.
Well, I was going to say that's one of the key points that you talked about is, you interacted with somebody who was further ahead than you, and he broke all your stories instantly.